Hi everybody. Today I want to show you some of the more advanced features of Zotero, which as you know is my favorite reference manager, my reference database. I'm going to assume that you've got it installed, that you know how to use it at the very simplest levels. You've got some papers that you're tracking in there. So I'm going to show you some of these more advanced features. Oh, I just noticed a spelling mistake. A truly scientific, I think that should say scientific management. I hope that's not my mistake. So let's have a look at this. So I've got that paper actually highlighted. So this is Warren Bennis's seminal paper, but I want to see where I've got it stored. So there's a keyboard shortcut. You press the Control. Obviously, I'm using Windows. If you're using a Mac, I guess that'll be the Apple key. So you can see that it's highlight two different folders. So I've got Bennis's paper in the systems. These are just subfolders. You can create as many of these as you like, and in OD. So that seems fairly reasonable. But I wonder. I'm just going to click on a different one. Just unselect that. I wonder if it should be in another folder as well. Let me just see here. What would be a good folder? Well, it's a pretty important paper, so maybe it should be in management theory. It's kind of well known in management. Or maybe Bennis is a bit of a coach. Maybe it's health. Maybe it's health coach. Let's stick it in coaching. So I select it, and I'm just going to drag it. Watch carefully what happens. I'm just going to drag it, as you would expect, into coaching. There you go. And I've popped it in coaching. It's still here. I'm going to press the Control button. Let's see what lights up. Okay, it's now in three folders. Okay. What happens though if I wanted to move it from this folder to a different one? Well, that's slightly different. So let's find it in here. Now I'm going to show you something. I'm going to take it out of this folder. So we're in coaching. I'm going to take it out of this folder. Look. Remove from collection. It's now gone from the collection, right? Did you see it disappear? If I go back here, let's find him. Systems Bennis, Control key. See, it's just out in two. All right. So there's a difference here between if you just drag it, it adds it to the other folder. However, if you click, I'm going to shift and drag it. Now, what did I say? Coaching. If I shift and drag, it's going to move. Look, it's gone from there. So now, see, this is a lie. It doesn't exist in there. If I go into coaching again, Bennis, there it is. And if I click and hold the Control button, it's showing me the folders that it's in. All right. So it's not intuitive. This is not intuitive. I understand that. The other thing to bear in mind is that if you're scrolling down these, I'm moving down different papers, notice the lights haven't changed. They're not indicating where David Clutterbuck's Everyone Needs a Mentor is. That's not it. These highlights are still remembering Mr. Bennis up here. So I do want to move it back to where I found it, which was systems. So I'm just going to do that, and you'll see it'll disappear from here. Now, none of that, saying that it didn't disappear. Let's just go back. Because I didn't do the shift, sorry. No, so this is a very good demonstration. So because it's already in there, look, it is already in there, I can't drag it in again. So in fact, I don't really want it in. I don't want it in here. I'm going to remove it from the collection. Now that is not the same as trashing it. That's not the same as deleting it. It just removes it from this collection. Okay, so it's no longer in this collection, which was coaching. If I go back to systems, whoa, there it is. We've still got two of those. Nothing, it's not in the trash. Let's do trash by date added. That is nothing in the trash. Okay, I've got plenty of other stuff in the trash. Right, tricky, huh? I didn't say it was easy. Now, The next folder that I want to show you is this. It's called Unfiled Items, right? So Unfiled Items, again, this is automatically created. Now, this is created by Zotero to say you haven't put these papers anywhere. They exist. So let's see, I've got Wilbur. This is Ken Wilber's integral report on the integral approach. So if I go to my library, you'll see it's in here. It'll be somewhere in here. Ken Wilber, there it is, introduction. And if I press the control button, nothing lights up because it's in the library. If I click on this one, which just happens to be co-authored by Ken Wilber, do you see? That's in the library somewhere. So this unfiled items is just telling me you've got some things here that haven't been stored anywhere, and it's a very good practice not to leave things unfiled. So I'm going to put, I don't know where I would put Wilber. Spinoza certainly is a kind of a philosopher. Why don't I just put them both in philosophy? So I've selected them both, so just oh no, what did I do there? I clicked on one and then I control clicked. So let me just try that again, sorry. Actually, let me just see if what I'm talking about is true. So if I click on that and I shift click, yeah, it selects every paper in between. But if I click and then control and click, you can see it lit up there, then I can select individual ones. All right, so back to unfiled items. I'm going to click and click. Shift or control, there's only two, it doesn't matter. And then to move them to another folder, remember it is shift. And where do I want to put those? I want to get rid of those into philosophy. They've gone from unfiled. I've done my bit of work there. I've done my bit of housekeeping. So that's the unfiled items house kept. Next folder, I don't have any of my publications, although that's automatically created. The next folder is duplicate items, and this is going to be horrendous because I know that I've got really rather a lot of duplicate items, and this is a problem. This is actually a problem. So if I look down here, I just clicked on one of the columns to sort it by this. So I'm sorting it by the creator. One of the slight issues, I guess, is that if you click whichever of these columns you click to sort by, you've got that everywhere. So I'm interested in this author, Cal, but in fact if I select this folder, look, that's now my new sort order, so I'm kind of stuck with that. But they're easy to change, they're easy to click on. I normally go for date added. That's how I kind of think as I remember back to when I did things. So here you can see the paper. It's called Evolution of Governance. It's by Cal et al. And there's obviously only one of it. And yet in the duplicate items folder, it's showing that there are two. So all we do, it doesn't matter which you click on because Zotero's found the duplicate, so it's highlighting both. And what it's saying is I've got two versions of these. One was added then, and it's got this metadata, and the other was added then, and it's got this metadata. Now, there are several reasons this could have happened. The first is obviously you've just added it twice manually. The other is that they are results from different searches, different engines, different literature engines, different databases, and that's the case for mine. And I know that because on the 30th I did a lot of importing from Google Scholar. I did a big search and I imported 1,000 records from Google Scholar. So that's why they're there. Generally what I do with these is I will look to see which has got the better metadata. And I'll take the one that's best. Now in this case I'm not really interested because I know the search that I did on the 30th. I'm just going to say, you know what, I will always keep the older record. Now I've got rather a lot of these to go through. Even though I know which one I'm going to get rid of, there's a lot of these to go for. So I'm going to press pause and I'll come back to you when I've cleared these up. Now, just as I'm getting to the end of this, and it's not taken me very long, I had 500 items in here and it's taken me less than 10 minutes. But I can see that there's some stuff here, there's a couple here that are saying merged items must all be of the same type. And the little icon here tells me that one of these is a book and one of these is a paper. So the way that I'm going to deal with that is go look up Bodwell, go to my library, look up Bodwell. Whenever you do a search, by the way, it searches at the level, at the folder that you're at. So here's the book, here's the paper. You can pretty much see that the book, I don't even think that it's a book. I mean, it may be, but I'm suspicious. I don't think it is. I think it's probably a paper, a journal article. Anyway, I'm deleting that. Now, to delete, no magic shortcut keys. It is click and move item to trash. And that's Bodwell. Let's just see Bodwell in the trash. Always good to see. Date added. There you go. Ah, that was the date added. Date modified. We can't see it. Let's just check to see where it is. Bodwell. There you go. It's in there. So redo that. Back to duplicate items. I wanted to share with you the joy of doing those last two, because this is what you want. You want that folder, duplicate items, and that folder. You want those to be empty. If you're researchers, I'd love for you to have a publications folder that's full. Now, in the few seconds that I've got left, let me show you why this matters. So I had done a search here and I'd imported all of these 950 records, and I wanted to go through them because what I'm doing is I'm selecting ones that I'm really interested in and I think I want to read, but I also wanted to make sure that I haven't got any duplicates. So I'm going through each one and I'm pressing the control key to see if I've already got it, and there's a winner right there. Okay, there's another winner that I know about because I don't want to bore you with all of this. There's another winner down here, which is the one that I showed you before, which is that one, evolution. Okay, so that one I know is in here, and it was in a previous search that I did of the Scopus database. Now, for me, it's more important that it's in Scopus, so I'm going to take it out of this folder, remove item from collection, but it will remain in Scopus. Okay, so that's cow evolution. We can see it is still there, and it's only there, and it's not in my other folder. So that's exactly what I wanted to do, and I can now go through these. It's laborious, but I can go through these and I can click to highlight to find out which folders each of these papers are in, and then I can deduplicate them, only because in this case these are big literature searches and I want to make sure I've only got the article once. So there's another one. That was in another big search, you see. So that was in Scholar 1000. So I can decide where I want to keep that one. So that's it from me. This has been a big video all about Zotero. Hope it's been useful for you, and I'll record another one as soon as I think of something that might be useful. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.